Hey guys, this is Joe Duckemeyer with Screen Rant. We are here at Comic-Con 2023 with Ashly, Tim, and Zeke from NAVA. And for people that aren't aware of what NAVA is, can you guys explain in SAG-AFTRA?
Sure, I'll explain it. Yeah, this is actually NAVA and SAG-AFTRA. NAVA is the National Association of Voice Actors. We're a nonprofit advocacy group for the voice acting industry.
And also SAG-AFTRA, which is, look, this Comic-Con, it's understated. It's been definitely affected by these strikes, which we at Screen Rant totally support. Talk to us about how this Comic-Con is kind of affected by all this.
Well, clearly they're missing a lot of the large panels because the strike affects promotion of any struck work under the TV theatrical contract. But look, this comic convention is for the fans. And the fans are incredibly important with respect to supporting the strike and supporting what we as the labor force are looking for.
Now, I kind of want to educate our audience on this a little bit because I feel like there might be either misconception or people aren't really familiar with some of the struggles that are going on. Can you guys fill our audience in on some of the things that should change in Hollywood in order to get everybody back to working again?
Well, there are a variety of topics that are, each union has specific issues, but they all are sort of under similar umbrellas, which is fair compensation, and another big one is AI, which is what we're here to talk about at Comic-Con, and it affects all performers and voice actors included. It's a new technology that currently has no guardrails up, and that's a huge reason that these labor unions are striking. Let's talk about the AI aspect of this a little bit because it's a really fascinating journey that we're here on this because I felt like this is something that would happen like 3 generations from now, but it's happening right now. Mm-hmm. How is it affecting the workforce that you guys are doing, the labor that you guys are doing?
It's affecting our workforce in almost every way. It's affecting the world's workforce in many ways. These narrow AI systems are basically algorithms that can do single tasks better, faster than a human being. In the hands of a creator, that's great for efficiency and productivity, but in the hands of the wrong person, it can be used to displace massive amounts of workers in any industry. It just so happens that right now in the spotlight, we have SAG-AFTRA and the WGA, who have a very big voice as a labor union, and the spotlight is on us, and so we can bring this out in the light for everybody to take a look at.
Now, currently, is there any regulation with AI currently in the current contract they had previously?
No,
none. So this is something completely new that was that we're just kind of discovering. And now, how does it affect the voice acting kind of like a job just in general? If that makes any sense.
The voice acting industry, yeah, the jobs that voice actors have. We are currently seeing that certain voice actors have been replaced with synthetic versions of their voice. And we talk about, in voiceover specifically, synthetic voices. That's the actual creation that comes out of these AI engines. And a lot of these voices are direct clones of the voice actor. So they are a one-to-one. They sound exactly like the voice actor. There are 3 current instances that we know of where the voice actor has been either had their voice stolen and used in place of them, or audio that they had recorded previously with the company was used to replace them in a job they were currently doing.
So let's just use an example. Let's say, Ashly, you do a voice acting job, and obviously they have your data, and that can be used forever without your permission, essentially.
I believe the phrase is in perpetuity across the universe.
Yes.
And for all current and future technologies.
Wow.
So it really covers anything that could possibly happen in the universe forever.
That's terrifying, actually. Yeah. Like when you put it in that, that's really scary. So let's talk about how this can be corrected, or how people can get back to work with you guys being protected and everybody that's in these industries being protected. What are some of the steps that need to be taken?
Broad brush, both NAVA and SAG-AFTRA are not against AI technologies.
Right.
Pandora's box is open, it's here, it can do amazing things. But we need to ensure a couple of things. There has to be active, informed consent of the performers being used. They should be compensated fairly.
Absolutely.
And there should be transparency within the tech industry as to what these machines are doing so that we are aware if our covered and copywritten work is being used to feed them.
When did we start seeing the rise of AI like just jump on the scene? Because I felt like, I don't know, I felt like deep fakes were like the beginning of this. And then here we are, like watching movies like The Flash is a great example. We're seeing them place actors that were actually never in that movie without their permission to use their images. I mean, can you guys talk about that a little bit?
In voiceover specific,
yes.
yeah, in voiceover specifically, we saw the first thing that kind of popped on the map was the Apple audiobooks last year in November, where the community kind of became really aware of this, where Apple had replaced their narrators with synthetic narrators, and they had 4 examples of narrators on their websites. And part of what started this is that somebody heard that and said, "Wait, that's my voice. You're using my voice." Prior to that, there was Bev Standing and TikTok. Bev Standing was a voice actor whose voice had been used as the synthetic voice, the AI voice of TikTok, without her permission, without her consent, without any control of it being there. And that happened about 2 years ago. That was a really kind of the very, very first thing we saw, and then it was silent for 2 years. Nothing really came up after that. Earlier this year, in January or so, we started seeing thousands of audio files show up on synthetic voice websites. Taking video game characters, taking animated characters, taking anything that anybody had said online and synthesize that. Now, you said it could be voice actors. Right now, this conversation that's being recorded right now, somebody listening to it could record this audio, throw it into an AI, a synthetic voice engine, and create a clone of your voice. And that is easy to do. It is easy to do. It is simple to do. And there's currently no real regulation to say that somebody can't do that. Wow. The sites that have these controls in place, when you upload a voice to some of these sites, they say, by checking this box, you approve that you have permission to upload this voice. You are the copyright holder. It is your voice. You own the character. And all you have to do is click, yes, I do, and you can upload that and create a synthetic voice. But you could do this, your voice right now.
When you were just explaining that to me, I felt as if I was in a sci-fi movie.
I know, you got really, your eyes looked like they were looking into the void.
Because that's crazy to me.
It is.
Like, right? Like,
it's crazy, yeah.
That there's no protection for anybody here. I feel like that's just a general thing that should be like kind of known. And
we think so too.
Well, let's not just stare into the void. Can we talk about potential solutions for this?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about
the 3 prongs of what needs to happen here. Legislation.
Yes.
Federal and even global regulation and laws that govern the use of AI so that it doesn't run away. Now, we all know that laws take a long time to enact. So on top of that, collective bargaining and individual contractual agreements. That's the stuff that can happen now. That's why the actors and writers are on strike.
Sure.
Because right now we need to ensure in our contracts that we are safe. And then the third one is understanding the technology. We all need to educate ourselves on what these things can do, and there needs to be transparency so that we can see these engines that are crawling everything on the internet and sucking up everything that we've ever done and using it for someone else's profit. We need to be able to see into that to see what it's doing.
Wow, wow. I mean, just hearing all this stuff is like, it's one thing knowing it, kind of reading about it, but actually hearing people talk about it and educating myself about it, it is quite terrifying.
There's a human cost. I mean, we talked about, like, obviously this affects everyone on every level, but I think a lot about the people that are trying to come up in our industry. Right. We all had our careers where we were in these entry-level positions. We were doing audiobooks. We were doing things that helped create a brand and a path for ourselves to be able to do this work more consistently. And with the pervasiveness of AI, if there are no protections, those opportunities for people coming into this industry are gone. And there's a possibility that, like Tim says a lot, like, your first job could be your last, because you could sign away your rights and they could just use your voice forever. And you could never have to audition for another job because there won't be any jobs for you to get.
How can we, as the public, support everything that's going on?
Well, this conversation is a big part of it. I think education and knowing what's at stake here, talking to your peers, and not just through social media, right, but also, like, literally people in your real life, because there will be conversations around this that are being propagated by folks that are not the workers, that are intended to paint us as overreaching or overreacting. And we're not. This is an existential threat to not just our workforce, but every workforce. I mean, this is a big thing that's happening not just in the entertainment industry. It's going to affect every form of labor across the globe. So it's a big deal to be taking a stand now and to get educated now about the effects of this technology. Again, not to ban it or to say that it can't be implemented in any way, but that it needs to have protections for the workers so that workers are not replaced.
Absolutely.
We need to have a societal shift in the understanding of informed consent.
Right.
From the performer side, from the worker side, from the labor force, we believe in active consent. Rule things out, except as we discover things, allow them to be, those rights to be granted one by one. Unfortunately, what a lot of employers want is passive consent, which means we can do anything with everything unless you specifically tell us that we can't. And in the face of this rapidly maturing technology, that is so dangerous because something can come along that will end the profession, end a whole bunch of professions, and the companies will take advantage of that for profit and just devastate the workforce.
Now, where would you recommend our Screen Rant viewers find out more information on some of this stuff and how to support you guys and just educate themselves further into this topic?
You can go to NAVAvoices.org is our first spot. We have a very specific page referring to synthetic voices and AI. And has some concepts, some phrases to look for, has a sample rider that voice actors can put into their contracts regardless of their union status. They're welcome to use this rider that specifically refers to active consent of yes, you can use my voice in this, or no, you cannot use my voice in this. And then for SAG-AFTRA, there's a SAG-AFTRA website.
SAG-AFTRA.org, SAG-AFTRA-strike.org, which will specifically entail for the TV theatrical strike the things that we are asking for, which are completely reasonable.
Absolutely.
The WGA website, and then I would say a lot of your favorite influencers that are tied in who are members of the negotiating committees.
And spreading the good word of Adam Conover, who has done a tremendous job talking about the strike and these negotiation points in really easy to understand and shareable ways.
You know, I'm so happy that you guys came in here to talk about this because obviously Comic-Con is affected by it. And this is so eye-opening to me and so educational. So thank you guys so much for stopping by, and go check out those websites to educate yourself on some of these issues for the protection of everybody that needs it for this, because it's spreading like wildfire and it's going to take over all of our jobs. I mean, honestly, like when you said that they can use my voice without my permission to do this job, what am I going to do? Seriously, I mean.
Yeah, no, I know, man. Yeah, it's wild.
Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.